because I'm on my lunch break. So.
Absolutely not. I really don't care.
Okay, good. Work them out.
This is so informal.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we should be in progress of recording.
Mm-hmm.
And let me go back to. Okay, so I have on the agenda, we'll read the mission statement. We'll go back over the roles again, just to be clear. And we'll go over the poll results and kind of discuss some of those. And then we'll talk about what's next in terms of, rolling from the theme and our starting to prepare for our announcement in August. And then that would be it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to read the mission statement carefully. Which I think is dope. So our mission statement is to bring together the Bethel High School classes of 97 and 98 in a meaningful and inclusive celebration of connection, growth, and cherished memories, honoring our legacy, reigniting lifelong bonds, and creating new moments of joy that strengthen our sense of community. So that is what we're keeping in mind as we discuss and continue our planning process. And moving right along to just kind of going over the roles again. And let me run this by you. Because Sheena and I did speak because there was kind of like a toss up between the two of us, like, all right, well, who's going to chair? Who's going to chair? You're going to chair. So we want to ask you, is it okay that we both co-chair?
That's fine.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
So
and then I want
three...
to ask the question on the 98 side, because it looks like we have our Lena but I think what I heard you say was that you all were still looking for another chair as well. Is that correct?
No. So she's going to be the 98 co-chair. What we were looking for, and we'll see, was someone that could help be like a co-treasurer. So Arlena said if we can't get another person, she would do both. That's why I have her as co-chair / finance. Because what she said is her strength is overseeing the budget and making sure that the accounting is done right. And so she said as her role as a co-chair, she will kind of oversee to make sure we're hitting the targets we need to hit and things like that. But that oh, I do?
No, you're good with me.
Okay. So basically, yeah, she was going to be our side co-chair, but also mainly focusing on when we start booking vendors and selecting vendors, making sure that the budget, whatever they're charging us for the fees is in line with the budget and all those things. So that was kind of where she said that was her wheelhouse.
So I'm just gonna let you know. Y'all got it. I can't hear.
Okay. Can you hear me? Anyone else? Are y'all having?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. And so,
are you in a different area, Crystal? I'm sorry, Shannon.
No, go ahead.
It might be. You go ahead.
Okay. So basically, that's Arlena. Me, I'm a floater and I come in as necessary. And the reason I'm coming to this meeting is because I wanted to be a part of whatever we decide for the announcement, because I feel like I'll be whatever the admin stuff on that I need to orchestrate with, especially since Arlena and Vid aren't in this meeting, to make sure we're we're on task with whatever we need to do, whatever, because I was just curious, like the ideas of what y'all's thoughts were for how we were going to announce it. So so that was I'm like an admin where I jump in as needed.
Right. Okay, so let's get back on the topic of the chairing, right? So Arlena is the co-chair for 98. So you're
Right.
not going to look for anybody else. That's just it.
Well, we were looking for a co-treasurer. So
No, I mean co-chair. That's what we're
right.
talking about, right?
Yeah, that is her. That is her.
And we're not looking for another one. So
No.
are y'all going to be okay with Sheena and I co-chairing? Because the notion is that both of us are busy. So one may need to
One
step
is
in.
going to help the other.
One.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, because I just want to be clear, because I know it seems like a little unbalanced in numbers.
Right.
So just, you're welcome to find another one if you want. But if you're okay with how it's set up, then, it's cool.
It's cool with me. So I don't think she'll have a problem with it, but she's like, whatever y'all need to do is good with her. So.
Okay, I appreciate that. All right, cool. So I do have Kawanza down as the floater, alumni outreach coordinator, social media manager. I have the treasurer as Chanel, and also I have Arlena. And then I have Hadak under administrative. But I did see notes that you wrote, Shannon, that says reunion registration, ticket sales as well for Hadak. And then for you, Shannon, I do have admin floater, and you would have a lot to do with like the alumni questionnaire and gathering that information.
Right.
And then I have Vid as alumni engagement, and I have Reagan as a floater. And then I have, I just wrote down some honorary floaters like TJ, who will be open to like handling our promotion and marketing tools, stuff like that. And then we also have Tracy on our side who said that she would be open to it as well. All right. So that's what I have. Any questions?
Can you repeat what mine was that was added? I'm sorry.
Who was that last person?
Go ahead. You go ahead, Shannon.
I was like, who was that last person? Tracy? I don't know who that is.
Yeah, she was a part of our committee last time, but she had to she didn't have time to do it this time.
Okay.
So she said just let her know when we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the thing. So that probably won't be like a couple of years, probably.
Right. Like that's how TJ's gonna be when we start actually getting ready to promote the actual event, as far as selling tickets and stuff. That's when he was planning to get involved. The reason I was asking because I have put together a contact list and you posted it in the private group because I wanted to update everybody's roles in there so that it's somewhere where people say, oh, who is doing this and and then it has everybody's numbers and emails in there also. So if you need to contact somebody, so I was going to update that list once everybody decided what their role is.
I love it. I think that's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. Zach, are you taking notes, or do we just do a transcript from this YouTube? I mean, from this Zoom?
We could have a transcript from the Zoom.
Okay, bet. All righty then. Let me move on to our poll results. And when I make this left turn. Okay, here we go. All right, so out of the, wait a minute, across the street, buddy. Okay, looks like we had a top 3 out of the 5. Wait, let me read this. Or was it a top 2? It's a top 2. It was the same amount of votes, which is the best of both worlds and the reunion remix 97-98 edition. Okay, so it's like we need either some tiebreakers, or I don't know how we want to do this. Do we want to do another vote again?
Well, if Chanel if Chanel or Ben needs to vote still, and they would make the decision depending on how they vote.
Okay, Ben. Okay. All right. We can pose it like that. That sounds good. That sounds good. But do you mind, while we're on the call, the people who voted for which, are you willing or open to describe the vision? Like, how do you see it unfolding over the next 3 days? So you chose the best of both worlds. What could be like the possible themes that fall out of that? What is that? What could it potentially look like on a Friday, on a Saturday?
For me, what I see from it is that the 97 and 98 bring what was going on. So it's kind of like, all the other themes are very similar. Like we're going back into time. We're trying to bring back what we had then, but we're going to have to use, because 97 and 98 are two different years, to kind of like those bring them in. So still going back in time and maybe bringing some of the things that we were doing then into those days. But that's how I see it, so that they both can contribute to the theme. So it's not just ours and theirs.
Okay. I see that. Anyone else have any ideas? Best of both worlds, how we can spin it into decorations, and what does that look like?
Decorations, but
I mean, if that's it, then we can move on to the next one, which was the reunion remix 97-98 edition. What are some like ideas decoratively or themes? Like, what do you think can spin out of that?
For the remix, are we still talking about?
Yeah, we moved on to the remix. I mean, immediately I think of, when I hear that, it makes me think of music. You know what I mean? The remix.
Right.
So maybe, we can revisit or maybe create some themes around music. I know we already did like a 90s party, but maybe one of the parties is like around different music. From all genres, but from that era. Oh, maybe
that's really where I was thinking too. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I'm done.
Yeah, I was just agreeing with you. That's where my thought process was going too. Like that, our 97, 98 was pretty much where remixes was a big, like that was a big thing. And it was a lot of remixes, not like all across genres, like you were saying. So of course, that's the first thing I thought of was music. And like you said, I know that we did the party, the decade themed, maybe something similar to that. But maybe not that decade. I don't know. Instead of 90s, maybe 2000s. I don't know.
Or just 97, 98 music. Just
I'm so good with that.
I can see that.
Songs that we, for 97,
it's a lot. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I was like, as far as decor, I have this vision of like, them CDs that people used to burn for themselves and, write the name of it across. And, I mean, honestly, we could also capitalize on our historic with cassette tapes. So I just had this, CDs and cassette tapes kind of decor all around. So, yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes, I love that. Yep. I can see that.
I was also thinking that since both of us have done our own individual reunions and now the two classes are coming together, it's like the reunion is being remixed because you're having two different classes that haven't done one together yet. So it's like a new collab. Like, you know, you have two artists that haven't collabed and they do a remix together. So it's like another part of the theme can be the two classes coming together to do like a reunion remix. That was
Yeah,
what
I
I was
love that.
thinking.
That's hot. That's hot. Now, what would that look like?
I'm about to say the same thing. What does that look like? Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm sure y'all have like thoughts of what y'all did in the past, and then what we did in the past, and how like maybe that could come together.
So you're saying like
I don't have
almost like.
I
Go
don't
ahead,
have
I'm
the
sorry.
particulars of how it would look exactly, but I'm just thinking, all right, we've done our thing individually, y'all done y'all thing individually, and now, you know, different times that, you know, we are coming together to show that we're doing a new type of reunion instead of what we've done in the past. So that was just the thought that popped in my head. I would need to flesh it out a little bit though.
What did y'all do for y'all reunion last time, Shannon? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, so this was back when they called it the Peninsula Movie Bistro in the town center. So we went there for the meet and greet, the happy hour mixer. And then afterwards, because I think they closed this down, Bar Louie's was across the street. So when that shut down, we went across the street to Bar Louie's. Then that Saturday we did a cookout at Newport News Park. And then that evening we did like a social at this private club called the Train Station that was right on the waterfront, where the Newport News shipyard is. So as far as this was the thing, when I chaired the first reunion, we actually had a theme. They couldn't decide on a theme for this last reunion as far as like the overall theme of the reunion. So it was just kind of like pieced together of us focusing on it, you know, us celebrating the 20-year reunion. So for the theme that when we did the first one, it was like a casino night theme on the Friday night. Then we did the cookout, and then the Saturday night event was like a semi-formal black and white party. And like the floor was black and white, you know, the actual dance floor was black and white, everything was black and white. We were hoping it was more like a unity of bringing the black and white people together at a reunion, but that
Didn't happen that way.
It didn't
Like literally, right? Literally.
You know, intentions. You know. You know what? Just going off of what you just said about it being it was a black and white night. What if we did do the remix and then just have it as green and gold?
We could do that.
Just
That's
thinking,
cute too.
You know,
Do that.
it's harder to find stuff to wear that looks flattering, but you know.
I was also thinking, I mean, everybody's doing like sneaker balls and stuff now. So to find a way to incorporate that.
I'm here for that.
Yeah, I was thinking like adult prom situation.
Yes.
You know, some people didn't make it to the prom. Let's recreate one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Prom, the remix.
There you go. There you go.
So what did you say?
Prom the remix.
Oh, prom the remix. Yeah, we could do that one.
That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. Okay, we got the juices flowing. It's feeling good. I like that. I like that. Okay. All right. So it's sounding like we're feeling the remix more than the best of both worlds. So I think we should just go ahead and roll with that instead of waiting for another vote, because I feel the energy around it. So we'll say that is the theme. Yay. And then we could just flesh it out some more. I guess so that on our recap or our what's next let's use some time to just think about different ideas that we can put out there for the individual events, you know, for the Friday and Saturday, and just see what we can create around the remix. Because these sound like some good ideas. All right. Are we okay to move on?
I am.
Okay. All right, so last topic is our announcement that we have scheduled for August. I don't remember. I think we do have a date on that, but I'm not really sure. Maybe we don't.
I think so.
Okay, we'll look into it. So I had some questions here. Hold on. Okay, so I have questions like on what is the mechanism, like what are the platforms that we're going to use to announce it, who will do the announcing, what will it say, and do we want to use like a flyer or some type of graphics to go with it, and then do we want to use the opportunity as well, like to pull in potential floaters for like the year or so after, or do we want to wait on that? And then lastly, if we are going to use some type of graphics, which we know that TJ has volunteered his services, and then you said that he probably won't be, you know, involved into a year or so. So that spins off to another question. Would he be willing to jump in to create something for the announcement if we all decide on a graphic?
Okay.
And if that is the case, do we want me to individual after that? But, I don't know if you mean, but I have to get your thought.
You're going in and out for me, Crystal.
Sorry, somebody tried to call me.
Oh, okay.
Did you hear everything I said? I can repeat it in like summary.
Yeah, if you could, please.
Yep. In terms of our announcement, let's find the date to do it. And then what platforms are we going to use? Who will be doing the announcing? What will it say? Are we using like flyers or graphics? And if we are going to use graphics, who will be doing it? Did we also want to use the opportunity to start attracting more floaters for like a couple of years later? And if we are using graphics, and we need to decide on a promotion schedule. So like once we announce it in August, do we want to keep promoting it like every 3 months or every month, or like what do we want to do? Are we gonna, like, once we announce it, are we gonna continue promoting it this year, or are we gonna wait till next year? Blah blah blah.
Okay.
Do y'all want to tackle? Okay,
yeah.
sorry.
My thoughts
I was gonna.
Oh, go ahead, Crystal.
Sorry, I'm gonna shut up. I was gonna say, do y'all want to tackle every question by itself, or you just want to just go in and just throw your answers out there?
I was just gonna throw my answers, but
let's go.
So I was thinking initially, this is kind of like a soft launch. Is like, we're not trying to go in too hard because we want to kind of lead up to building up instead of putting all the energy into like 2 years ahead. We want to like drip it and leave something to be announced later. So that was my thought, was like not to go so hard as far as graphics and stuff initially, but just to put it out there and get the buzz around it. And then I would say like when we get to a year out, then that's when we really stop dropping all of the things like, you know, graphics and, you know, the things that will get people more interested, because you want to kind of have that waiting for when it actually is important. I think 2 years out is too early. to be trying to really promote it hard now. But when people actually start getting interested, is usually like a year out. So that
I
was
agree.
my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I was thinking more of like a save a date as far as our graphics and the thing that needs to be created, and save, I think you said his name is TJ. We'll save TJ for when we go, when we really come out the gate.
Right.
So if you need, I do have Canva. If you need me to, you need to put anything together. I think we did that last time. I don't know who did it for the team with you guys, Shannon, but if we need to put something together, then we could do that, because it's just a save a date, and we're not
Right.
giving all the specifics. At least that's how I saw it.
Right.
It's just giving the highlights that this is what we're doing. It's going to be together. This is our theme. And these are the dates. And then just putting that out there as far as getting people interested.
Right. I came up with something. I'm gonna drop in the chat real quick, and y'all tell me what y'all think. I don't know if everybody can see that.
Pretty simplistic.
Right. It's just like you said, a save the date, and then like we really get into the details and the specifics, like I would say like probably like a year out.
Okay, so you are suggesting that we don't put a theme out there
at first. Like that's something that we can announce kind of like in anticipation of, okay, this is what it's going to be. So we don't put it all out there immediately.
That's true.
That was what I was thinking anyways.
Especially as you start, things change, and you don't want to have people with expectations. So that's true. I like that.
Okay. And so let me just also make sure that I'm clear. So we'll put the flyer out there. Will there be some copy with it? Meaning like some type of, hey, da 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 da, like a I don't know what you call that.
Yeah.
A caption.
Like a,
Yes, I thought that would be good.
Okay. And did you say that, so we'll put it out in August and then we won't say anything else until next August?
Well, as far as like the details of things, I know for us, and I don't know if this was y'all experience, people didn't really care until about a year out. So it's like they're not really paying attention till it's like they actually have to start thinking about stuff as far as, planning to actually attend the reunion. So I didn't want to drop it too early while people aren't really engaged yet.
maybe
that
every
was
okay. What is somebody else?
That's right. Yeah. If you drop it in August, I say if you drop it in August, then drop it again in December.
Of the same
post?
Or the first of the year. So that you still got like you drop it in August, drop it again in either December or January. So you're going into the first of the year with the same mindset that we still doing it. We ain't going nowhere.
I think that's I agree with that. And it could be the same flyer or it could be a different one. Who knows?
Correct.
But I think a year in between, people are going to forget. So, we do need to occasionally drop. Just to kind of remind them. So maybe it looks like every 3 months or every quarter.
Every three or six. That's correct.
Well, that first one, I think that first one to drop, and then 6 months later, I like the January because people be planning, getting everything planned for it. And then after that, every 3 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What was my next question?
One more thing about timing. I'm sorry, Crystal.
No, go ahead.
In terms of like December versus January, I'm thinking more like during the holidays when folks might be around each other, so that there could start to be kind of that conversational buzz where it's like, oh, you saw that they're blah 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 blah. You going, just to start that initial you know, check in with my crew conversation.
That's good.
Yeah, good point.
Because, you know, a lot of alumni come home for the holidays and they have these events happening, you know, in the 757, and people get together. So we can start a buzz. We can even use it as a promotional tool.
I was gonna say promotional fundraising, one of the either or.
Oh, that would be good to do a fundraiser.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's really great. Very good. Okay. All right. Like that. We may have answered this question, but I can't remember. When are we starting to take money for ticket sales? Did we discuss that already?
No, we did not.
Okay.
Crystal, can I go back? You asked me, are we doing copy? I'll if you want, wherever you want me to put it, either in the chat or the private page, I had some copy that I was gonna put with that post. So if y'all want to look at it and add any, you know, suggestions or whatever, I was thinking that like, cause I'm the admin for our 98 group. And then, so I was going to post everything in the 98 group. And then someone post the same thing in the 97 group. Is that how we're doing it?
Yes. To go to the first part of your question or statement, can you put the copy and everything on that page, the BHS page, all that stuff, all the suggestions that you have, so that we can see it laid out?
Right.
And yes, you know, and then to answer your question, to the question of where are we putting this stuff, like what platforms are we using? Yes, I think that we definitely need to do both, but I guess the question is where we got to be really clear, so we know that you have your own page. 97 has technically 2 pages.
Right. We have like a private group, and then we have a open, you know, regular page. And so I was thinking at first maybe just do it in the private group, and then maybe later put it out, because the thing about when you put it out on there are other classes that are friends with us that, you know, like not, I think we got like all the way to 2000 people from 2000 and stuff. I think initially we should keep it within the people we know are 97, 98 in the private group. And then later when we post it, then post it to the more public page with the other classes. Because I have a feeling that some other classes may be trying to come in on this. So I think the first we should make sure they know is us before we put it out to everybody.
Which brings up a good question. You know, do we want to open this to all people? Which I would think we would, but
yeah, we would. I would think so too.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do y'all want to vote on that now? You know, because now we're saying, now you're creating 2 dates. You're saying put out
saying that the original
first
one
to the private group.
Yeah, in August the launch is just for the private, so I don't want people to hear it from someone before they hear it from us. So I think we owe it to our class to just put it in the private page and let them kind of chew on it, and then they already know. So then by the time we do the second drop, then we can put it out to the other classes that are part of our pages. That was what my thought was, because I would hate to hear about it from another classmate that wasn't even in our class.
Well, it's okay I would think it's okay to just drop it all on at the same time everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
This is not a Mason G group. This is we just celebrating. We just celebrating 97, 98. And if other people want to join in, they can join in, but it's us 97, 98 that's doing it.
Okay. So y'all want it on all 4 pages then?
They just put it out there.
Put it out there on Facebook. Just put it out there.
I just say put it out there.
Just put it out there. Yeah, just put it out.
Because that's probably how it's gonna get paid for.
Yeah,
by being by having multiple classes. And while it is ours, that's their business if they want to pay and come.
That's correct.
Cool with that.
Yeah, that's
you know. And look, as we like to say, we'll take the money.
That's why
help pay for it.
The remix. That's why it's the remix of that. That's why it's
it.
Remix.
That part. Yep. Yep. Listen. That was the first thing I thought of when you were saying about putting it out there. I'm like, well, let's think about it. You know, if you narrow down our field, that means we're also narrowing down the funds that's going to come in. Mm-hmm. And so that's the first thing that I was thinking.
So you want them to know at the same time. That was all I was saying was, do we want them to know at the same time that we tell everybody?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they can't say that no one's slighted if it's all done at the same time.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So we're clear that we are using Facebook. We are using our public and private pages. And we can also do our own individual page if we want to. And so, okay, so Sheena, we had an Instagram. Do you have that password and stuff?
Like, we had an Instagram. I don't think we had an Instagram. I think we only had Facebook.
We did.
We did?
Well, it's connected, right? Is it connected?
I don't think we had an Instagram, Crystal.
I promise you we did. I know we did. I think it was Bethel 1997 something like that. I'll send it to you, but we definitely did. I just lost the password. I don't know where it's at. So I'm gonna try that. But do y'all also think I think we should post on other platforms too, because some people are not on Facebook. So I guess this is where maybe outreach can help too, like because people who are not on social media, how do we get the word out to them? So like that's like a brainstorming topic.
I just speak for me. It's a matter of making sure those that are on socials reach out to those that are not on socials. Like just from experience working with a lot of, seasoned women, they are not on social medias. And so what we had to do is we would always make sure, you know what I'm saying? Listen, they're not on it. So we just made sure we got the word out to them in the method that works best for them. So like a text message or whatever. But that's what we would typically do whenever we would try to get the word out about different things and get the word passed down that way. Text messaging.
So what we've done in the past is once we put out the classmate questionnaire, that's where we collect a lot of contact info. And then we've created a team that actually either through text or phone call said, okay, who do you know that you want to be there? You need to call them. The people that weren't on social media. So we kind of did like a group. We selected like some of the people that were like kind of popular back then to say, can you help us as like be a recruiter to get, the people that you knew that aren't on socials to actually talk to them about it.
Yeah. Same thing. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So do y'all, okay, so is the idea, we're going to do social media. That's the easier part.
We still here? Okay. Make sure I lose that.
Can y'all hear me?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. Okay, there's that. But the people who are not on social, are we still wanting to reach out to them on the same day as well? Like outside of social media?
Yeah, I would say give it a range. I would say give it a range, like make it the week of so-and-so is when we're doing our blast. We're putting it out there. Also giving us enough time to get that information out to people that's not on socials. Like I would give it a couple of days, to make sure it gets out.
Okay. That sounds like it makes sense. So in that case, that means that we have homework to start doing now to get contact information. And we need to revisit our database as well as like what we have And then so that also says to me in my head that when we are putting the social media platform stuff out there, that copy needs to also speak to, hey, reach out to someone. Because you're giving them a direction to reach out to other people to help us. Okay. What do y'all think about expanding to a TikTok or whatever?
I don't have it, but y'all do.
Okay.
Does anybody have a TikTok?
I do, but I have several. Kwanzaa, is that social media person? How you feeling? You still here, Kwanzaa?
She is somewhere.
I think she's at a
No,
meet.
I'm sorry. I was having technical difficulties. I'm here listening. Yes, I have TikTok.
I'm gonna say she's there. I know she's there.
Do you think we should use that platform as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So we're agreeing on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. I mean, that's the extent that I know, really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And is there like who do you think that should announce these things? Is like Kwanzaa, do you want to be the person for 97?
Yes, I can be the person once we agree how we're gonna announce. I don't mind announcing it. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. We're at 6:50, so I want to be mindful. I think that we answered most of these questions already, and that was the last topic.
Should we,
anyone else?
Oh, sorry. In the
Nope,
copy, should we, I mean, I know we'll do like the formal questionnaire later, but should we do like some type of contact gathering in the copy, a QR code, a link to a Google form, something where it says if you want to stay informed, you know, drop your contact info here or something like that?
Yeah, that's easy. Yeah, I would just say put a QR for a Google, a form. That'd be the easiest way to go.
That'd be smart.
Yeah, and it don't take up much space either. So
yeah.
So y'all
are you able
to do? So I want to make sure, because this is the thing that I guess that's in my lane. So y'all wanted to do a questionnaire or just collecting numbers and addresses and
emails.
Just collecting data. Yeah, I think we're just collecting data. I don't think we're asking any information. This is really more of a data collection, I think. So
yeah. And the question about the QR code, are we able? I have trouble accessing a QR code that's already on my phone.
Yeah, I was just going to drop a link to a Google form because I think that's a lot easier to do that than try. I mean, I could try it. I've not done that before.
Okay.
I've done it before. I do them a lot.
I always do the QR code and the link.
I was just about to say that.
Okay.
That's what I usually do, both.
Okay. That makes
smart
sense.
So that
I got
me and you, we'll talk later.
I got you, girl.
Okay. Anything else? That was all the topics. And I think we covered a lot of ground.
We did.
No, we did.
Okay, bet. All right. So let me try to remember our next steps. If not, at some point I'm going to post.
Did we decide on a date?
No, we haven't. And I think that's going to take more time.
Yeah.
Like we got 8 minutes and I gotta go.
Can we put that in there like like we've been doing? I think we do better when we put stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna do better with making sure I check it.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Social media.
The next step that I can think of at the top of my head, I'm gonna just say it, but I think by what's today? Monday. Sometime this week I'll post this this live right here, what we're doing. I can't find the words for it. And the transcript, and then we could do a breakdown of the next steps in our face, so we know what's coming up. But from what I remember, and please plug in if I forget, we definitely need a date for when we're going to announce. The other thing is we're going to flesh out some more ideas for our remix, you know, for individual events. We are working on copy that's going to say what we say and data collect. We need like a rollout in terms of like the dates of when we're going to drop these reminders for the people. That's all I can remember. What was next?
Sounds good.
That was it.
Yeah, that was pretty much it.
That was it.
Okay. All right. I'll post it simply like in our faces, and I'll put that in the group chat and on the page.
Just so that we start thinking, I know we haven't fleshed out specifically what the events look like, but for planning purposes and to book spaces that we really want, we might want to start thinking about what, you know, this looks like so that we could look at available venues. And
you sent me some stuff that I haven't had a chance to reply
like
to.
a couple months ago, I did a whole like what we were planning to do if we had did a 25th that didn't happen. So I had like all this research on all the venues that were available to me that I could see online. So I don't know if y'all want, I can find a way to post it in the actual group so y'all can go back and revisit it. When it comes time to look at venues, then y'all can have at least some options.
I'll put that in there tonight if you want me to, because I'm sitting here at work. It'll be a late night. And so I can just put the links to those places in there if you'd like.
Yeah, because I put all the links, the web, you know, I put all the websites and everything in there. Even like one of them, virtual tour, like you can click on actual virtual tour of the venues. So for the people who actually aren't actually there, y'all can see what it looks like.
Okay,
that took
we'll
me
do that.
That took me a long time to do.
Don't worry, I'll put it in the chat for us to be able to all see it. No worries.
And then there was we needed a date for when we're gonna start taking in ticket sales.
Yes,
I think that's what. And then we also said, well, never mind. That's part of our rollout. Like we want to do like a fundraiser or something like that this year. Okay, that's all I can remember. I have 3 more minutes. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right, I think this meeting is adjourned. You all are amazing.
Thank you.
Love y'all. Love you all.
Bye. Love y'all. See ya. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.